just keep it.
So, everybody is here now? Hey, Alex. Hey, how is he? You want to sit down? We can turn the chairs. Come on, Alex, come over and grab a chair and turn it down.
So I fell over and there was a bunch of woods. I got up and I was wet there. Whatever hit me before you hit down here.
Well, I think there are stuff here that we're First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Alex and Mark. Hello? That's right. I would like to thank you for coming. Thank you for your thoughts about Greg, and we'll give you an opportunity to talk about them. I think we all have different stories to share, and that will be very interesting. I think it's comforting, to me at any rate, to know that he died very quickly, very easily. He was talking to people, he went over, sat down, and that was that. I mean, I think we would all like to go like that. No pain, no problem.
Do you know what the official reason was?
I think it was heart attack. And he did have a bad heart. He had had a heart attack before a stroke, actually. And the stroke is what got him into the trouble of going into the nursing homes.
He had 2 heart operations before his stroke.
Right. Yeah, so, he did very well to live as long as he did. It was good. All right. I'll open it up and let other people talk. I know Mark has just been very interested to get started.
5. After 1 week, I asked my cousin to find table tennis club and drive me to this club because I didn't have car, I didn't have money, I have nothing. So he finds this club. If I don't remember who will visit this club. This is on the Broad Street, and there is some company who sell some for restaurants, and it yes, I forgot name. No, do you know?
Actually, oil owned the building.
And it was on 2nd floor, no air conditioning. It was much worse than here in the hot weather. He brought me in this club, no? In this day, I meet Greg Brendon. He said, he is president. I said, I'm maybe not a bad player. When I live in my age, I got championship first place in St. Petersburg in Russia. And he said, okay. My English was 0, and my cousin talked to him, and he said, tell him I can coach him for $5 an hour. I said, Michael, tell him I can coach him for $2 an hour. Okay. After he didn't tell about that. Very shortly, first championship all of the world in Detroit. Yes, in Detroit. And I said, he said, you will go. I said, I don't have my own. He said, don't worry, I will take care of you. And he did it. I live with him in a 2-bedroom, and he didn't take from me nothing because I don't have it. And he gave me some meat, but I go with him in restaurant, and it was maybe 5 people like team. And one of them was a person who lived in New York and who worked like driver in Metropolitan. And so we have been together, and when we go to restaurant, this guy from New York, he might order some piece like that of meat. Maybe not really, but at least $20, maybe $25. Greg said, what you like? What I can like? I like to save his money. He was not a rich person. But I said, order for me some spaghetti. He said, just only? I said, yes, only spaghetti. Okay. Next day when I seated with this guy from New York, he took some sausage and sit down at the meal and eat this sausage. So I look at him. Why he didn't tell me, would you like some piece of sausage? He did not. And he told me, I told how young are you? And he said, and I told my wife, younger than me, 27 years, he said, no, American girls don't like old people. I said, okay. Oh. So we became, with Greg Brendon, like friends. And one time he lived together with John Tennigan in one, I don't know, apartment or what is it, but I already had a car. We bought it for $3,000, old car, and so sometimes they asked me to go. All vegetables or like vegetarians, I drive John to some place, he buys something on market, it has to be free and so and so. Okay, so I did it, but if you visited his apartment, somebody visited his apartment? Who is here? No? Did you? You remember how it looks?
Yeah.
Well, it was this high before, but
I was there, yeah. I know it. Wow.
Yeah, he was a hoarder.
Yes, something like
He had bags
Something like
of clothes
that.
up to the ceiling.
unbelievable mess I never seen. And he said, my old brother will visited me. I said, Greg, let's make some order in your apartment. He said, okay, later. later, and after in the club, he said somebody, I don't remember, I heard, he said, and laughing, Mark said to make order in my apartment. he said somebody, okay, why you did this for? So he asked me to help him something. For example, winter need to make hermetic on the door, outside door, some window. He said, may you make it hermetic? I give you $5. Okay, I will. I did it. After he asked me to sew some his мешок, рюкзак.
Backpack.
Okay, something what he used for tables and cloth. It ripped. He said, can you sew this? I said, yes, I do. I give you $5. so he support me like that. When several times I go with him on some tournament, I already don't need to give me $5. I have some money. And one time when we go, he drive car, and it was dark. I sit down at him, and what's happened? I said, I was sure he slept for one moment. But I was scared. I said, Greg, give me, I will drive. I don't think. He said, no. It was something on the road. Because of this, he did it some like that. Okay.
Well, we can let other people talk too, Mark.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
What he did, here is, if somebody like can read it, this is Greg Brendon, something appreciation to me. I don't remember what for it. And in 2008, I was champion of America in, how you call it, in national. And Greg Brendon wrote some article about me, and this is my photo with card, and this article was in table tennis. They stop now to,
They don't print it anymore. It's
yes,
online, yeah.
but in 2010, if somebody has it, I don't know. I had it, but I don't know where is it. This article he wrote and sent it to Table Tennis Magazine.
So,
Yeah, the stroke
that stroke is bad.
messed up his mind a little bit. As Mark said, you know, he thought Mark had hit him. He didn't remember some things he remembered in the wrong order, and other things he remembered that never happened. But it seemed to be very real to him. I will say that having power of attorney and having healthcare power of attorney has been rather interesting. There was one incident. He was at this place at the Sunrise.
Oh, backslide.
And we
Yes.
finally got an opening at the Veterans Home in Georgetown. And I told him, you know, we're gonna move. Get your stuff packed up. We're gonna move to Georgetown. I go in there the day of the morning. Says, I'm not going. And you know, the reason why, some young lady had visited him the day before. And he thought there was a love interest. He said, I got a girlfriend in her car, I'm not leaving.
That's hilarious.
And that young lady was Mariana.
Yeah, that's true. I think this is, I remember that story.
Very difficult.
So he had to stay, and he hit Al a couple of times to tell him, you know, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But I really want to thank Ann and Al for taking care of me. Like over the years, I wanted to you know, like a family to him for all these years.
Yeah, well, he thought he was being kidnapped, you know. It was, so it was kind of rough at first. After we got him down to the Veterans Home, it was much, much better.
Yeah, that was the right place.
That place was great.
And he wasn't just paranoid after that stroke. He had problems with paranoia much earlier than that, because he talked about going to a psychiatrist, and he even has a paper, how I overcame my paranoia, which of course never happened. But his suggestions in there for overcoming it are wonderful. And the main one was do something for other people. And that's exactly the right thing to do, but it didn't work for him. He still was very paranoid.
Last time when he came to the club, after he has some insult, and
Insult, yes.
insult, and he came in the club, I came, write down my name, and he ran to me and said, Mark, I had insult. Do you know about that? I said, Greg, I know about you everything. So it was last time when I talked to him. Not talk, but just communicate. Why are you so surprised?
That was a very long time ago.
What?
Yeah, Insup was here in the 60s. And you've known you've known Greg after that quite a bit. So he, for example, he was at Sawmill, the two places we had in,
I'm sorry.
No, can we also recognize a couple other people, because I feel like there's so much history.
yeah.
Macy Block and Phil. Remember all the doubles that Greg helped play later to the right?
Oh, yeah.
But everybody
Phil?
knows
Phil
he
Wood,
has
Phil
two,
Wood.
Yeah, Phil Wood?
he has two surgery on his heart.
In the middle of the
They
No,
replaced
no,
him
he was one of the
valves.
Yeah, he and Nick Markins.
One time replaced valves
They were hilarious.
by cow, and after 10 years, replaced valves from pig.
Did I know that?
Well, they were at the club, they played, John Williams and Joe Platt played.
Wooden cane, he didn't like that cane. And he wanted to, exchange it for a wooden cane. So I go in, I run in, pick it up, run out, and I look, and Greg's not in the car. And I look, this was at Old Kenji. I look down the sidewalk, and there's Greg. And he's got his cane, and he's moving as fast as I've ever seen him. He, and Greg said, he would like to have prevented her from trying that. Which was interesting. And then we got,
Do you know something about his son?
maybe Ann does, I
Do
don't
you
know.
know something
That was-
about his son? No?
Not very much. He's in Washington, the state of Washington someplace, we think, but we can't find him.
Well, we're trying to contact him. Actually, we have to contact him in order to get his estate probated. I mean, he has to probate the estate unless he, says, I don't want to do it. But we haven't been able to contact him yet. I just sent out, we sent one, Dan wrote a note explaining, and that came back that there was nobody, no, it says
He wasn't
basic.
that address.
It's not that address, and I got another address.
He's moved about 5 to 7 times in the 7 years that we've had Greg at Veterans Home. So he's done a lot of moving. I have no idea where he is.
Greg divorced the mother of the son when the son was probably 2 or less. And Greg has only saw him a few times, not so long after that, and not since then,
I don't remember what country he come from.
Greece.
Greece.
His father is from Greece. He was born in this
He
country.
told me he has different name, first and
What's the
second,
Harris?
and he got it here, Greg Brendon.
Yeah, his first name.
But Greg was born here.
What?
He was born here in the U.S. He was born in New
Greg was.
Jersey. So
Yeah.
he's
His name was George Michael Buxacaris. And he said he got tired of people calling him a bunch of carrots, so he changed his name. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know what his brother's argument was.
Well,
He changed his
he had
name
an
too.
older brother that was 10 or 11 years older. He had also changed his name. We are in contact with that brother's niece.
And brother's daughter.
The daughter,
Greg's-
right?
Yeah,
Daughter.
brother died,
Greg's niece.
passed away a long time ago.
Right.
but he told me one time his brother has some dog, small dog, and he said, brother, go by steps, как по лестнице.
Step up.
Okay, you go from second floor to first, and this dog lie down on the step, and he unfortunately stepped on him and killed him.
Killed the dog or killed
Do you
the brother?
remember this story?
No, I don't remember.
But I think Greg was very close.
Maybe he told it only to
They
me.
traveled every year.
Right.
That was a big part of his life.
They seem to be close, and then when his brother died, he was pretty.
Yeah, he lost the big connection.
I just want to point out too, that Greg, he said he was athletic. He also played basketball. He was quite a strong basketball player. And there was another sport. Yeah, pool, checkers. He also played checkers, and he played some chess. I don't know how far he went with chess, but he was a very strong checkers player. Yeah.
Yeah, he insisted because American and Russian rules are different, so when I played with him, he forgot to tell me that.
Wait,
No, he was very
wait for the rules till afterwards.
Right, but he was very good at it.
And do you know that he teaches ballroom dancing too?
Oh yeah, he was a good ballroom dancer, that's right.
He taught, the ballroom dancing.
He
Oh,
taught that.
that's right, I forgot.
His sister is the instructor.
Сколько лет назад.
Okay.
He also
Мы
played
с
the
тобой
piano.
ходили в этот клуб играть.
And he could speak Greek, and I asked him to speak some Greek, and he did very nice.
He was very very well really.
Механик.
У вас работает?
Они работают. Я
Does
слышу,
anybody else have
они
any
не
comments?
различают.
Wait, I can share that he was quite a gentleman.
98
Wait, I was gonna say that he was quite a gentleman. So there was a time we played like super late, and there was one thing about Greg, he would insist on always watching me get to my car whenever it was like, played late, remember Bill?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you were one of the doubles person.
Right.
It was just amazing, and everything he did, I always thought he was such a gentleman. And that's, quite a memory.
Remember we go out to dinner afterwards a lot of times too?
Yeah,
We go over to, I don't remember, Friendly's or Wendy's or, it wasn't Wendy's, it was,
Well, Fred's had to be someplace that was open all night.
Well, the one thing, he was definitely a night person. And
That stayed with him right to the end. He was up all night, he'd sleep all day.
I swear he would sleep at the club the whole night.
Yeah,
Not at night, he was up at night.
yeah, he'd come in, sometimes he'd come in, he's sitting in a chair.
No, I think he was always like that because that was his problem with his ex-wife. He wanted to see the boy in the middle of the night, and she said, "No, that's not going to happen." So they couldn't get together on when he could see the boy. So
What was his history like with Mormons? Like he converted, there was a time in
He
his
was a
life.
Mormon for a while, and that was one of the problems with his first wife. He came home and he found her,
In the living
one
room.
of the Mormon elders visiting, and he didn't think that was appropriate, and they didn't resolve that issue. And so eventually got a divorce. That was in about 62.
Divorce was in 60.
Divorce was in 62. He was married again. And that divorce was in 72. And it was shortly after that that he changed his name and came here.
Did you know that he tried to paint me, his third wife, portrait? When we were cleaning out out from Sawmill
Yeah?
to move. And in one of the two storage room, there is a framed picture of a nice looking woman.
Wow.
And he said, "Do you want it?" I said, "Who's that?" My wife.
So she said, he told her that he was married a third time. So if so, we know nothing about it.
So that's it. That's his third wife, the portrait. And he didn't care for it. So
Oh,
he
third wife. I don't know where that came in.
Now you're finding out secrets about it.
But he also thought he was married to the lady at Sunrise that took care of him. Oh, yeah, he called her, I forgot her name now, but he called her his wife too.
Yeah, sometimes.
So, not real sure. Okay, well,
How about Jan? Jan hasn't said anything.
Yeah, what's that?
oh, Jen, do you have something you would like to say?
No, I mean, I probably met him in the 80s, maybe like between 85 to late 80s. I had to quit table tennis because this was located shoulder, so even though I was at OSU, somebody told me about the club, I didn't go to club until after I graduated. So at that time, Greg likes to rate every new player that comes to the club. So, but I've never seen him play, singles match with anybody by that time, I guess. So, there were tournaments, leagues, and Greg was not playing in any matches. After that, so yeah, then I quit the downtown club because the homeless people broke into our cars. So I just started another club in the chance. The opportunity was there. Somebody found a place, at Carriage Place, which is near my home. I guess about 5 minutes drive. So it's Sawmill Battle. So started that. Got going, but it was difficult when we got like 30-some players, and there were only 4 tables. We were also providing balls at the time. And then we had John Tannehill and Slayman. They tracked like 7-8 balls a night. We were losing some money. We only collected $1 a night. So that time I think Greg, the downtown club, the Columbus Table Tennis Club has already folded, I think. The Anson Club, I think the rent was $400. And then there was Greg had issue with Steve Slayback, I think, over a trivial thing like, when the new player comes, the policy was to collect or not to collect the $5 at the time, I guess, right? So then, I think Steve Slayback ran against him, he and Charles Hill and what's the other guy? Darryl, right? So the 3 of them beat him closely, I think, in an election. But then the 3 jokers couldn't run the club for half a year and we folded. So then that made Greg very depressed. He had no ping pong to play. And then he joined the Federation, so we lost our spot at Carriage Place. But the manager was nice enough, he moved to Federation and offered us, I guess. But we lost the spot at Carriage Place because we were using this gymnastic room. And the gymnastic teacher bought new mats and all that, did not want us to fold it and and put it back. So we moved with that manager to Federation, but Federation wasn't the ideal place because it's a bit far from me and it was in a rough neighborhood. Because a lot of parents, they just, they come back from work 7, 8 p.m. and then pick up their children there. Even I think the assistant manager got shot by some teenager there. Yeah. So that's when Andrew, you went there and played with him. By the time, yeah. So, and then I think Lan was nice enough to find the New Market place. Right? The New Market Mall was failing, and Ben was able to get a nice spot there, you know, and there was left with probably one fitness club there.
Yeah, that was Len Mansman.
Yeah. So that's when Columbus Table Tennis Club started the game, and then the Carriage Place was dying down because, you know, Featherston wasn't a good place. So kind of like, you know, started again, and then Sawmill, you know, the footing was there to the gold gym, so we got pretty good rent over there, I think $1 per square foot. I think Greg also, yeah, he was teaching dance, basic block and his wife dancing, I think.
We never,
Huh?
we never shut the downtown club down. We went directly from downtown to Sawmill.
No, I think
The
it was
the Feddersen was a breakaway.
yeah.
Those were, a couple guys decided to start their own club, and that was a
Right,
competing club.
it was me, Bill, and Doug Milo, so we started Carriage Place.
With Ron Shaw.
No, Ron.
No? Yeah, I think he's right. We never did close the downtown place completely. There weren't very many of us left, which is why when Lynn said he found that place in Dublin, we said, well, we'll go for it. But we had nothing to lose. We weren't making any money where we were. It was either, you know, go or die. So,
And we made money at Sawmill.
yeah, we did very well.
We made money at Sawmill because it was an indoor type mall, so our heating
People
bill
kept walking
was,
by and seeing us.
our heating bill was very low.
Yeah, we could steal the heat from the mall itself.
Yeah.
All we had to do was open the door, you know.
Right, it was just a metal gate, so nothing's, yeah, you get the free food
Yeah, that was very nice.
But when we moved, at the time we moved to Sawmill, Greg wasn't even coming to the club. He got kicked off because he wasn't elected president. And he didn't come back until after we were up at
here.
Sawmill.
Yeah, he was quite depressed and he was playing at Ferguson, and I can see that he wasn't interacting with people, and, you know, the only person maybe that he had connection was John Sherman, I think, who was the, you know, formerly the vice president of the club. So, but he's much happier when he was at Sawmill and thought.
One of the reasons he had problems with Steve was because Steve got ticked off at him because Greg ran a tournament.
Oh, he turned in the results.
He lost them. He lost the results. He couldn't send them in. He couldn't find them.
If you saw his apartment, you can understand why he couldn't find it. They're
Yeah.
probably there somewhere.
I have one last thought,
All right.
that Greg is just super great and in instilling confidence, and those he taught. He's always reminding me, okay, you've got potential, keep practicing, and always play your best. The other person deserves that you always play your best at table tennis. And so I remember that one of the forehand lessons was a salute. So knowing with his background in the military, great. Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay. Oh, she left to get the food, so I think we can.
Yeah, he was hallucinating, like, you know, he also told me that not was feeding on him, and I had to check with him actually, just to make sure that didn't happen. He was also carrying a hammer in his coat, and, you know, he was afraid somebody would knock him, I think. But, you know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he used those things as weapons.
Yeah.
and I don't know what to blame it on. He was in a drugstore one day, and he had his cane, and there was a little child there, maybe 6 years old, and he stomped the cane right in front of the kid's face, you know, and did that scare you? You know, he thought that was funny. Well, the child didn't think it was funny. So they had to make sure he didn't have a cane at the.
Well, it's funny too. Like he still wanted to help when he went, all in 10G. So, and I asked him, what happened if you lose a key? He said, just bring me another key. Yeah, that's no good. Somebody find that key and open the club, right? And I don't know what happened with him. Like, I think Macy had to bail him out. Like he forgot that he had a gun in his back. He went to a federal building downtown.
Oh, that was terrible, yes. They took him to jail, and we went down to the jail. Boy, if you want to get really depressed, walk into a jail. Oh, goodness gracious. That's a horrible, horrible place.
I don't want to go to the county jail.
Oh, please. Just walking into it, it was just horrible. We had to give him a toothbrush or, I don't know, something. I don't even remember what it was now. I wanted to get out of there as fast as I could. But I think he was only there overnight. But that would have been eternity. 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, he walked up to the guard at the post office and he said, I have a gun in my back, my pack here. Is there some place I can put it? By that time, of course, the guy had his gun out. You're under arrest.
No. So he asked him if he could leave the bag there. And she told him he had a gun in it, and the guard says, where? What? The guard looks in the bag, he can't even find it. Greg had to find it for him. But then they decided that wasn't appropriate, and
I think he was just trying to do the right thing. It just was misunderstood.
well, he should have known,
Did he have the gun because of problems when he was driving the bus, or is there a reason for having the gun?
He was always paranoid. So
Yeah.
you don't know what was a real threat and what was paranoia.
Yeah. He was not unusual to have his car damaged by people I suspect didn't like the looks of it because it was full of junk. But he rented a car, He didn't own a car, he rented a car. Oh, yeah, for years on end.
Yeah, the white car, that was a rental car.
He got a different car every time. I mean, if they had some problem with the car or it got damaged, he'd just call them up. They'd bring out another car, he'd transfer the junk.
Fine words. Lima?
You want to say something?
I didn't know him, I wish I did.
Paula, did you know him at all?
I didn't know that.
Tell us a story.
I don't have any.
Uh-huh.
I think I met him 1 or 2 times at Sawmill, but that's it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But he was a smiley guy and helpful. I was new. I just walked there and he tried to help me to get on the table.
Uh-huh.
Just 2 times happened. That was it.
Hey,
God
I think
bless.
it's created a great environment. Hey, Maybe he spent a lot of time talking with, discussing with.
He's sitting. We didn't get up.
Let him take the talking with Greg. Don't be shy. You exchanged a lot of things with him.
You have to listen to your mom.
He doesn't say.
He was my first table tennis instructor when I joined the club on Sawmill. And he taught me to toss the ball 6 inches up and salute.
I know somebody that needs that lesson.
And I learned whenever walking people come in to the club, you always take it to one of the friendly tables and then tell instructor those walking to challenge for a winner to play at that table. And so I learned from that. He's very accommodating newcomer. So I hope that our club will continue with that tradition to make people more welcome so that we can prosper.
Is anybody hungry? Would you like to eat?
Yeah.
Free time.
The red table has food on it.